Bombshell updates about the government. Actually, it's being confirmed that they flat out bold-faced lied about Kilmar Abrego Garcia, an innocent man that was sent to a prison in another country. Big old victory lap from your boy Dave. We called it from 1.5 miles away. Erez Reveni says he was fired from Trump's Department of Justice for refusing to lie that Kilmar Abrego Garcia was a terrorist and a gang member. Let's listen to this audio from last night's 60 Minutes.
Kilmar Abrego Garcia had been deported by mistake. Normally, people deported in error are returned, but instead, Ruveni says that in a phone call from a superior, he was ordered to argue against Abrego Garcia's return by telling a judge that Abrego Garcia was an MS-13 gang member and a terrorist.
Now, we already know that he wasn't, because there was no evidence that lived up to the courts, the rule of law when it came to prosecuting him and deporting him in the first place as a gang member. Apparently, he just has a couple tattoos on his arm. Really, nothing was there, and there was no, and yet we saw Pam Bondi, we saw people lie to our face, all saying the same thing, that this is a dangerous gang member. Well, now we're finding out, if he was so dangerous, how come they had no evidence whatsoever?
And I respond up the chain of command. No way. That is not correct. That is not factually correct. It is not legally correct. That is a lie. And I cannot sign my name to that brief.
You're not saying Abrego Garcia is a choir boy. You're just saying that no one had managed to prove that he was a terrorist.
Here's the really important thing here. Whether Mr. Abrego Garcia is or isn't a member of MS-13 or a terrorist or anything else is beside the point. What matters here is that they did everything they did to him in violation of his due process rights.
By the way, this is the same thing that I've said about other folks that were deported that were not given their due process, right? When I talked about some of the Palestinian supporters that were deported, even though they weren't ever charged with a crime, and people got their panties in a twist. You're defending Hamas. And it's like, no, you idiot, you're defending due process.